America's strategy in Iran is about to change, from bombing targets to seizing nuclear material. The Joint Special Operations Command is now being considered for covert operations inside Iran, tasked with securing or extracting nuclear assets before they can be used. At the same time, more Marines and ships are moving in. So, is this the final phase, or the moment the conflict gets even more dangerous? As the war enters a more uncertain and volatile phase, attention is now shifting beyond airstrikes and battlefield gains to a far more sensitive objective: Iran's nuclear materials. The Trump administration is actively exploring options to secure or extract Iran's nuclear materials, according to multiple sources familiar with internal discussions, as the United States-Israel military campaign against Tehran continues to evolve. The planning has centered on the possible deployment of forces from the secretive Joint Special Operations Command, the elite military unit often tasked with the most sensitive counter-proliferation missions, two of the sources told CBS News. Officials indicated that the timing of any such operation remains unclear, with one source stating that President Donald Trump has yet to determine whether to proceed. A White House spokesperson said it is the responsibility of the Pentagon to prepare for such contingencies, while the Department of Defense has not publicly commented on the reported plans. The discussions come as the conflict, which initially focused on weakening Iran's conventional military capabilities, enters a more complex stage. Early strikes by US and Israeli forces targeted air defenses, missile systems, and infrastructure linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, with the aim of limiting Iran's ability to retaliate. Despite these efforts, Iran has continued to respond with strikes on Israel and US-aligned countries in the Gulf, while also disrupting maritime traffic by threatening vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Amid these developments, the United States is deploying thousands of additional Marines to the Middle East. 3 US officials told Reuters that 2,500 Marines, along with the USS Boxer, an amphibious assault ship, and accompanying warships would deploy to the region, although they did not say what their role would be. 2 officials said there had been no decision on whether to send troops into Iran itself. Sources have earlier told Reuters that possible targets could include Iran's coast or Kharg Island oil export hub. Trump said the United States was close to reaching its goals in the war, which include degrading Iran's military and preventing it from developing a nuclear weapon, and may wind down its military effort. Trump also called US allies cowards for declining to help open the Strait of Hormuz, while fighting continued in a conflict they were not consulted about beforehand. The strategic waterway, which carries roughly 1/5 of global oil and liquefied natural gas supplies, has been largely closed to shipping since the conflict began nearly 3 weeks ago. The broader economic impact is becoming increasingly evident. Energy infrastructure across Iran and neighboring Gulf states has been targeted, contributing to a sharp rise in oil prices, which have surged by around 50% since the start of the war on February 28th. The ongoing conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran is raising fresh concerns about Tehran's nuclear ambitions, with analysts warning that the country's new leadership could take a far more aggressive approach than before. At the center of these concerns is Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, who assumed power following the killing of his father, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in US-Israeli strikes that triggered the current war. Observers say the leadership transition, combined with escalating hostilities, could reshape Iran's long-standing nuclear strategy. Raz Zimt, head of the Iran program at the Institute for National Security Studies, believes Mojtaba Khamenei may be more willing to take risks compared to his predecessor, who was often seen as cautious in matters of strategic escalation.
The only good thing which one could say about Ali Khamenei was that he was usually very cautious. He didn't take very risky decisions. and I think that the new leadership under Mojtaba might be willing to take more risks.
Reports suggest Iran still possesses hundreds of kilograms of uranium enriched to 60% purity, a level that can be further refined to weapons-grade material.
If Iran, after the war, will be able to still use the fissile material which is still left in Iran, there is 450 or 400 kilograms of enriched uranium to 60%. In order to enrich uranium to 90%, then convert that to uranium metal and break out, which is certainly a possibility. This is one of the things we could expect from Mojtaba. This would be a very negative development. I think this is the worst thing we could expect from him.
The warning comes as the war continues to expand across the region. More than 2 weeks after the United States and Israel launched strikes on Iran, the conflict has spread to multiple theaters, including Iraq and the Gulf. Iranian retaliation has included drone and rocket attacks targeting US and allied positions, including strikes on the American embassy in Baghdad. Despite repeated assertions by US President Donald Trump that the objective of the campaign is to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons, analysts warn that the conflict itself may push Tehran in the opposite direction. A more hardline leadership, coupled with heightened perceptions of existential threat, could accelerate internal debates over abandoning long-standing restrictions on nuclear weaponization. For decades, Iran has maintained that it does not seek nuclear weapons, often citing a religious decree issued by the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. However, with a new supreme leader now in place, the future of that doctrine remains uncertain. Some experts argue that Iran's nuclear capability cannot be fully dismantled through military strikes alone. While infrastructure can be damaged, the scientific knowledge and technical expertise required to build a weapon remain intact.